Hi, you're with India Post Live. I'm Ishan Russell. India Post Live is, of course, India's first online news conversation web TV where you too can participate in this conversation. All you have to do is go to indiapostlive.com. That's the name of the website. Just go there, log in, and post your comments. And while you're there, you can check out a pretty cool game that we have for you over there. That is the vote race where you can go play as Rahul Gandhi, Narendra Modi, or as Arvind Kejriwal and try to get as many votes in as possible. So go to the website and check that game out as well. Also, you can use Twitter to get in touch with us. Hashtag India Post Live to your tweets or use our Twitter handle at India Post Live. All right, so today we are talking about Manipal Institute of Technology versus the Indian Institute of Technology. Now, this is no traditional rivalry, but of late, Manipal has been in the news because the new CEO of Microsoft is an alumni of the Manipal. So, are newer engineering colleges coming up and replacing IITs, or is there enough to go around for everybody in terms of engineering seats? We'll be discussing that and all the brands that MIT and IIT are. But first, let's take you through the story.
Many see the appointments of Satya Nadella and Rajiv Suri of the Manipal Institute of Technology as a definitive sign of dramatic U-turn in the Indian tech education scene. They claim this is a ray of hope to the lakhs of students who fail to make it to the IITs. Is this the beginning of the end of the IIT hegemony and the rise of privately funded institutions that provide quality education?
All right, to discuss this, I have with me in the studio two people who are from Manipal and IIT. Vineet Bakshi joins us. He's the director at Grasshopper Studios, one of the biggest broadcast studios around in New Delhi, and he's an ex-Manipal Institute of Technology graduate. And also we have with us Hari Kripa Chandra. He's the technical lead software engineer at Adobe and is a former alumni of the IIT. Which IIT was that, Hari Kripa?
IIT Roorkee.
IIT Roorkee, all right, great. So we'll start with Manipal. I mean, because Manipal is in the news because of because of the new CEO of Microsoft. What's so special about Manipal? Is it better than IIT, as many of the present graduates would say right now?
Well, I really can't say if it's better than IIT because honestly, I haven't been to IIT, but I know about MIT, and I do know, as with all aspiring engineers and all, IIT and the RECs are the place to be because they are the haloed institutions. So I would be lying if I said that I did not try for IIT or these REC things because that was the aspiration. But there's always a backup plan like you have in life, and MIT was it. It offered very good engineering and other services in terms of education that were available. Sure, you had to pay a bit of money for it, but if you could afford it, does not mean that we are not able to fulfill our ambition simply because of lack of monetary funds. To say, like there were friends of mine in Manipal who did college with me there, and they had got through some of the courses in the prestigious colleges like IIT and the RECs, but unfortunately they did not get the stream. They were the toppers of my school. They had to make a decision whether they wanted to get into a prestigious institute or whether they wanted to follow the stream of their interest. And I think they chose otherwise, and that's it.
All right, but as far as the IITs are concerned, I mean, they of course were set up as the pinnacle of technical education or engineering education in the country. But have they lost their sheen? I mean, there are so many institutes that have come up, and then there aren't that many IITs to cater to as many bright students as possible. So therefore, other institutes are also picking up along the way, aren't they?
Yes, yes. So what I feel that IITs are not losing their sheen, but it's just that few more institutes are coming up to that level of quality education. So where they are being talked about at international level. It's not like that IIT has lost anything. It's just that few more institutes are constantly upgrading themselves to reach to the level of that quality which IIT delivers or some other international institutes.
All right, so but as far as the IIT is concerned, I mean, let's get through the MIT perspective, because with the IIT perspective, I mean, everybody thinks Three Idiots and the fact that, oh, it's an engineering college and you'll be just slogging. But is it the same in like Manipal Institute of Technology, or is it a little easier, so to say?
Well,
I mean, you haven't been to IIT, but how tough was college basically?
it was as tough as I wanted it to be honest. At the end of the day, I think it's more about the individual, their ambitions, and what they want to make of it. I mean, Manipal as such was an isolated place. I mean, I'm talking about the original Manipal, not the way the franchisees have been handed out now. I mean, it's grown by leaps and bounds. Suddenly, we meet people, oh, I'm from Manipal. Which Manipal? But he's from Assam, he's from Sikkim, he's from here, he's from there. So Manipal has spread its wings in a big, big way. That's what I'm saying. Now coming back to where Karnataka was, where the original MIT, where Rajiv Suri, in fact, he's a friend of mine, family friends from Kuwait, and also he was a 1-year senior in college. So I did get ragged by him. Yes, I know him. But again, it was as strong as you wanted it to be. It all depended on you. You want to take it easy, you take it easy. You want to work, you work. You had all the facilities that were available because, well, let's face it, it was being funded by the students themselves. We did pay capitation and we did get in and we chose the stream of our choice. But it was again up to us whether we want to take it forward or not. I don't think it has anything to do with anything else. There are people who, friends of mine, who have gone to the RECs and IITs, and unfortunately for them, the pressure there was just too much because there's a certain level of competition that exists in the IITs, and all was just, you have to be there. I mean, it really takes a lot of it out of you, the dedication and everything. And especially the fact that, you've got into IIT, you have to do something. That in itself is just raising the bar for the individual right up there. So if you perform, you better perform. Otherwise, just doesn't work.
All right, we also have Kushan Shahidi joining us. He is a scientist at UOP Honeywell, India, and he's also an IITian. Kushan, we've been talking about Manipal Institute of Technology versus IIT, and it's not really the fact that they're competitors, but of late, many would say that because there have been a growing number of IITs, or the fact that there are just too much pressure for students over there, other engineering colleges, perhaps with lesser pressure, are producing better products. Is that really an argument that you've ever heard before?
Not exactly. I don't agree with this because the IT provides a different perspective to the students. It's not only about a BTech degree. It's about their overall development, how they learn and what they learn there. It's completely different from other engineering colleges, and it's a crowd. In IIT, they get different crowds, so that makes them perfect, and their alumni base. So we are just seeing two example right now. It's I don't think that comparison is anyway comparable because their alumni base is huge, and the quality of a student IIT have produced in last 40-50 years, it's really beyond any debate. So the new IITs which is coming, it's just we are producing a good breed of students who will what they will do after 20, 40, 30 years. So we should concentrate there. Okay. So the argument there is the new IIT is coming, so it will reduce quality of that. I don't think this is the right argument we should pitch.
All right, but then at the end of the day, the pressures, the fact that you've gotten into an IIT, does it really promote all-round development? Because then you get so focused. I mean, that's what the common perception is, that you get so focused on just one particular subject or your stream, or you just that into studies for those many years that your overall development, I mean, it's a very critical age for an individual, the 18 to 20 plus age, where you're really forming your personality as well. So in those terms, there have been several question marks that have been raised about IIT, haven't there?
No, I don't think that this notion is correct. IITs are known for providing, as the other person has
Kushant.
said, that they provide the infrastructure and ambience for all-round personality development. See the examples of those alumni which got passed in 80s and 90s, be it any field, not only technical domain, but any field, wherever they go, they excel. Why? Because innovation and doing good, better than others is in their genes. See the examples of those alumni which are not into technical field now. Raghuram Narayan, let's say Chetan Bhagat, recent examples, or many examples. There are many examples. So IITs provide an environment where a person can excel to the max, up to his her own potential. So it's not correct that they are only focused to the engineering studies or 1, 2, 3 subjects only. No, it's not like that.
All right, but Vineet, as far as Manipal is concerned, is it as strenuous or as, I mean, you said it completely depends on you, but in terms of curriculum, does it really match up to the IITs and other regional engineering colleges?
Well, I have to agree with him here when he says that, the IIT system of education it does provide a lot more in terms of the way they do it. I mean, they have the best of faculty and everyone there. I mean, they have a certain lineage and pedigree that everybody looks up to. But coming back to Manipal, they give you the opportunity. I would say that. The ambience is there, the facilities are there. There's nothing that was not there in Manipal, that wasn't there in anywhere else. So we were right up there with the best of them. The libraries, the infrastructure, everything, even the professors and all. But yes, again, I would come back to the same thing that it depends on the individual. It depends how motivated, driven in everything you are. For example, there have been a lot of people who chose not to pursue the field that they graduated in, but they excelled in other fields also. I mean, I'm case in point right here. Even having done my engineering, I've totally gone away from it and got into something that is in the field of broadcast design and things like that. But the education did help. It did help me develop a lot better. I think with the IITs, there is a certain stigma attached that, you did do what you did. You have to excel in that because you've been branded as an IIT, and that in itself is a big responsibility on your shoulders. To say that I want to go away from it does take a lot of guts,
Yeah, in fact, I want to put that question to Kushunda. Kushunda, I mean, ever contemplated going away from because there have been path breakers. We've spoken about people like Raghuram Rajan or Chetan Bhagat. But how difficult is it? I mean, because the common perception is you've taken somebody's seat in IIT, and if you didn't want to pursue it, you shouldn't have done it in the first place. That kind of a resentment, how do you counter that?
See, like IIT is not only for engineers. If you see the example of any good universities like Harvard, Stanford, what they do, what their students do after graduating from their institutes. So it's all about like if IIT just providing a graduation degree. After that, it's up to you in which field you want to go. So I'm like, if I am your argument is I am wasting government's money and then I am pursuing in different field, not engineering. It's not like that, because we are IIT is creating leaders for future, not only in technical field but in other field as well. Like Chetan Bhagat and Raghuram Rajan are the current example. So there are many. So what they are doing in that field, they are excelling and they are doing excellent. If you see after coming from after becoming RBI governor of Raghuram, what he has done for the economy. So that kind of build IIT is producing. So we should not only look for only technical side. We should look for holistic approach. And this is all education about how we are excelling ourselves, how we are grooming ourselves. And IIT is providing that the holistic approach to groom the students. That's it.
All right. Well, on that note, I'll take final responses from you. Ari, we'll start with you. As far as IIT versus MIT goes, so there is no competition, and I think everybody should excel. Would that be your take?
Yes, yes. So I'm happy to see that few more institutes are coming up and upgrading themselves in terms of their quality of education. It's good. So what I see that in future, let's say 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, India will have many more institutes which will be recognized worldwide, not only IITs.
Right.
So,
and how big a fillip, Kushunda, this is my final question to you. How big a fillip is it for young IITian to have like such a lineage to look up to? Is that more pressure or is that an advantage?
It's definitely an advantage. It's not a pressure, because like anyway in life we struggle for something, then we get it. And if you are struggling, it should not be seen as a pressure, because after that the fruit is going to be sweet, definitely. So uh, and overall it's a competitive economy, knowledge economy. So we are excelling ourselves and then we are achieving. So definitely it should be a sweet moment. We should take as a younger generation should see as a it's sweet moment we are going to get, and definitely we have to fight for that.
All
So
right. So the hard
my
labor ensures the sweeter fruit. Thanks very much, Kushunt, for coming in. And Vineet, the final word to you. As far as Manipal is concerned, what more can we expect from it? Can we expect a lot more CEOs and CTOs or CFOs coming in from there?
Well, I'd like to say at this point, just because we've got these two distinguished people from MIT now, everybody's talking about it. But honestly, there are a lot of other graduates from MIT who've been excelling in their particular fields or the streams that they've chosen. And just because they're not in the public limelight, as these two gentlemen are, we cannot really say that, this institute does not provide the best of quality education, or for that matter, any particular institute. Let's face it, education is about fashioning your mind. And once your mind is fashioned, you went to college, I went to college. How much of what you learned to college is applicable in practically in today's life? No, they just said the concepts right. Yes. They just said the theories right. It's up to you to absorb, to identify yourself with what you want to take forward, what you do not want to take forward. And then if the drive exists within you, it doesn't matter whether you're from IIT or MIT, you will excel. But yes, the IITians or the other established colleges, they do have one major advantage. When you're branded with an IIT thing, you walk in somewhere, doors open up for you.
Yeah, that I'm sure has
Yeah,
that
it
been the
happens.
case?
It happens only for the first time. But until and unless you have, unless you have that potential,
To
that
sit on a
passion.
chair after the door is opened is up to you then, I guess.
Yes.
But the door is open. The hardest thing is to get into a door. You see, that's the point. MIT, IIT, I think I'll take this guy. So that is the way it is.
All right, so perhaps these kind of things for MIT, thanks to the new CEO of Microsoft, might be changing around. At least a few people from MIT might be able to go to Microsoft at least. On that note, we'll wrap up. Kushan, thanks very much for coming. Harikripa, it was a pleasure having you, and Vineet, it was a pleasure having you on the show as well. Well, on that note, do tell us, what do you think about the MIT versus IIT or any other institute for that matter? What do you think about the overall state of education? Come talk to us, join the conversation, go to India Post Live, log in and post your comments over there. You can also use Twitter, hashtag India Post Live, or use our Twitter handle at India Post Live. Well, that's it in this conversation, but the conversations continue right here on India Post Live.